Good morning. It's lovely to see you all here today, past colleagues and new colleagues. My journey has been in offender learning. For the past 10 years I've been teaching in offender learning. For the past 4 I've been a manager. I started off, I'll tell you a bit of background so you can understand where I'm coming from, which is kind of really important on this journey. I started off 10 years ago. I'd had my family, I changed my career and I decided to go into offender learning. So it's really been a right emotional roller coaster, and I went into teaching offenders, first teaching job I'd ever had. I had done a little bit with training companies, and boy was that an emotional roller coaster. It was at YOI, Swinford Hall in Lichfield, locked away in classrooms with 12 younger offenders, but it's been the most amazing career of my life. It's my niche in life. I followed different patterns before I had a family, but to me it's been amazing. On that journey, 6 years locked away with many young offenders, I did that for 6 years, and in offender learning, if there's anybody here, you teach in all areas. You cover in broom cupboards all across, as we do in our teaching career. Then after 6 years I took a management course and I thought, shall I go into management? And I went to HMP Dovegate, which is a privately run prison, and they gave me a manager's job. I couldn't believe it, just after 6 years teaching. And that journey for me has also been amazing. Serco takes on a lot of the HMP contracts. Serco's been in the news a lot lately. In fact, talking about deaths, you probably saw recently one of our colleagues in London died after being attacked by a criminal, which is very sad, and it would be appropriate that we have the 2 minutes silence as well. It kind of brings home to everybody the dangers that we work with in prisons, but in education, we forget about that. Whatever that man's done, whatever that woman's done, it's about the education. So, I took my manager's job, and then I saw this advert on one of the websites, Research Development Fellowships. Oh wow, I wonder what that's about. And I'd always taught with these young men very creatively. I'm into art, I'm into sculpture, and I was teaching literature, but many of these guys, it was difficult to get them engaged. In fact, you're locked away in a classroom, most of your classroom would be dismantled, the computers would be dismantled, tables, chairs, unless you kept them engaged. So, first of all, I went away to Sunderland. I've been so lucky. I've worked with Professor Maggie Gregson, who's been my mentor. I never went to university, I was never lucky enough, but Maggie touched me so much. Also the rest of the team, Trish and Lawrence. It's been an amazing experience. I was lucky enough to do 2 years on that programme, and I started off with my creative teaching hat on. We had many lectures. I remember Paul's lecture about the balcony, and as a leader, risk-taking, all those things Paul mentioned, wow, yeah, I took on all these things. And I still battle, I battle away, as we all do in education. So my first round was creative teaching, and my first case study was, well, miss, I was good at fraud, but now I'm in prison. One young man said that to me many years ago, and I used that as a drama workshop as part of my studies. Maggie encouraged me so much. I went back from those fellowships, all the team encouraged me. I was so powered up, I was like Superman, Superwoman. When I got back to my provision, they all said, what's wrong with you, Steph? Where have you been? Can we all have some of that? And second year, it was research development advocate, and at that time there was talk of joint practice development, which I brought into our establishment as well. And then, following that amazing experience, they wouldn't release me anymore because you go on the residentials. I'd go forever, every year. I'd encourage everybody to go. But I thought, oh, what are we going to do this time? So the next year I put in for the emCETT with Ian. And Ian and Joe, another amazing team, a very different programme. A lot of it's on the website, fantastic website. We come together for workshops. Our workshops have been at Walsall College, which is an outstanding college, which was wonderful to go and see. And the development that's gone on through all these workshops, I really have had to take it back to my work. They won't release me, they won't release a lot of us, unless we take it back to our work. So really, I want to take it back to motivate the staff, to improve the teaching and learning, for my tutors to be more creative. I've recently linked up with universities because of the work with Maggie, and that is so important. I recommend anybody that's going to do research to link up with your local university. And I can tell you, 10 years ago, not one university was interested. Yeah? I never contacted Maggie then. But at that time, offender learning has always been the Cinderella of Cinderellas in education. And going back to when I first got interested in teaching, nobody wanted to know. So to be recognised by academics and all these different people, I'm working with Anne O'Grady for the last 2 years. We've done 2 research projects. One project, Tutor Study Group, is going out for academic publishing as soon as I've got my final clearance, which is amazing. Our project this year, there's more posters out there, working with our learning support assistants. That project will also go out for publication, which is amazing too. But having Anne O'Grady in, I haven't got a lot of time to write up fantastic papers in an academic way. I wish I had time. So having that support helps me. We work together. We're a great double act. So really, the impact for me at the moment, and in 2015, excuse me, be quite interesting. 5th of January, we had Ofsted, HMP, Her Majesty's Inspectorate, pulled up to the prison on the 5th of January this year. Wow, what a time for Ofsted to call in. Everyone's feeling rough after Christmas. All the inmates are feeling awful because they're not at home with their families. Attendance was really low at education, which is unusual after Christmas because they usually all want to come back to class. So, worst Ofsted inspection I've ever been through in my life. They gave us good teaching and learning, as they always do, but because of the prison regime, brought our score down. So, I thought, right, I've got to get this score up. They've given us an advisor, an Ofsted advisor, and she's coming back in September, very helpful. I've been on Ofsted things as we all do. So I thought, wow, all these 4 projects I've done now, I'm linking in to help with our Ofsted recommendations. So really, all that work that's gone on, all that advice, guidance, is now informing us to improve our Ofsted. Throughout the UK, there's only 1 prison that at the moment gets an outstanding Ofsted, which is horrendous, you know. I think I was the first person on the RDF, and now it's great. I've been around, there's other offender learning practitioners out there, all with the same aim of improving it for the students. It's tough with Ofsted, as we all know, but it's even tougher when you've got a regime in a prison and you have to rely on the guys coming off the wings. So, really this time, I'm really going to battle forward with my team and really try and lift our Ofsted score. Yeah, but linking the research, you know, I think, wow, I had this light bulb moment. Yeah, let's bring it on, show them all the evidence. When I first started in 2011, I was Ofsteded, and they said, yeah, Steph, this is good, this research, but we need to see the impact. So I'm hoping when they come again, whenever they poll up, that they will see the impact of the research work. The challenges, their time, as always, time is of the essence. It is difficult fitting it in, but I think the benefits are paramount. In prisons, we do have problems with ethical clearances because I'm working with a university. The university have to get their clearance and we have to get ours. We've got an ethical committee in the prison. It's a body of psychologists. Psychological research is different to education research. I've had my battles there as well, as I do, as we all do. But, you know, when that first project was ethically cleared, wow, that was amazing too. We've also, in this last year with emCETT, been involved with a pilot project, a whole organisational approach, where I invited practitioners, teachers across education, and also we've had 2 admin assistants in education taking part in our pilot approach. And we can't give them lots of time to do it, but we met at lunchtime. We had an hour once a month, and we had Joss Kang from emCETT come in and help us. And we tried a different approach, and it's quite interesting. The best projects were from the admin girls, and they picked projects solving problems in their work. And the one project actually is going forward to the Serco Leap Management project, which I'm involved in improving systems. So the impact out there in offender learning is tremendous. You know, you do have to put lots of time in to make it happen, but the benefits are paramount. So if you haven't been on these research programmes, Go for it. It's always what you put in life, is it not? But I think what you put in, you do get out of it as well. I'd just like to say a huge thank you to Sheila. Sheila's always been there to support me on my journey. She's been amazing, along with Maggie, Lawrence, Trish, and Ian and Joe from both areas. Without their help, their friendship, their fun, the laughter that you have on these residentials is fantastic, and you know, everybody's. And for me, it's been an amazing few months actually. I've been to the University Bridge, to the Department of Criminology, to a conference there. Wow, that was good. I've spoke at the NATECLA ESOL conference a few weeks ago in London. I keep going on the train to London, it's dead exciting. Oh, I think I'm a high flyer now, but not really. I was filmed there. I was filmed at this conference. I've stood in halls of educational learning, academic places that I never thought I'd even enter in my life, and it's all because of the research project. So huge thank you to everybody. And also, on page 15, if you haven't had your copy yet, which I was blown away, the comments I've had from colleagues, and that's up to all the teams. So to be in an academic, well, it's not academic, but you know, a journal. I did want to be on page 3, but on page 15. Anyway, probably bored you to death, but you know, go for it. It really does help in your work. Offending learning, there's some tough times. There's some not nice things you see or experience, but you know, you do need a release mechanism, and this has helped me on my journey. So thank you for listening, and enjoy the rest of your day.